If you like simple explanations of complicated concepts or great descriptions of important times in human history, then you're in the right place. Like and subscribe for more videos like this and other similar content here. A lot of people think that the US dollar can just be printed indiscriminately, like printing money in excess would never be an issue. However, this is not the case. In order to maintain the value of a currency, it has to maintain some level of scarcity. The larger the debt a currency has, the less valuable a currency becomes. By example of this, in 1920, the average cost of half a gallon of milk was 35 cents. Now, 100 years later, in 2020, half a gallon of milk costs as much as $5. Economists often cite wages as a metric for economic health of a currency, but if the cost of goods raise faster than the average wages that people are making, then people are actually getting poorer rather than richer. If this is the case, why is it that more people don't actually care about this? Historically, there is a strongly ingrained trust in the US economy that Americans have had, because we made it through a lot. We made it through the Great Depression. We made it out of the greatest war in world history with enough wealth to take care of our own as well as fund most of Europe and Japan's economic recoveries. Since then, we've remained a global superpower, and for the latter half of the 20th century have only gained power. But in 1968, something changed. The United States could no longer afford the Vietnam War, so it removed all backing from the US dollar. Overnight, the dollar went from being worth one silver note to being only as valuable as the paper it is printed on. Since removing all backing from the dollar, the United States has become progressively more and more irresponsible with its debt. This indiscriminate printing has become increasing exponentially. In fact, nearly 20% of every single dollar that has ever existed was printed in 2020. The United States is currently $28 trillion in debt, and you can watch their spending live by going to us.debtclock.org. A lot of people have had a hard time even grasping numbers this big. To exemplify how big 1 trillion is, let me share with you how long a trillion seconds is. Starting with a million seconds is 11 days. Going up to a billion seconds is 11,574 days. Or rather, 31 and a half years. A trillion seconds is 31,688 years. I'll repeat myself here. A trillion seconds is 31,688 years. Mind you, the entire recorded history of human civilization is only about 5,000 years in length. That is only 1/6 of a trillion seconds, which is only 1/28 of our current national debt. $28 trillion converted into seconds is equivalent to 887,284 years. Those numbers are very overwhelming, and honestly, at some point, it just becomes irrelevant. The debt becomes so large that it becomes unpayable. According to MarketWatch, the entire world's wealth is around $36.8 trillion. So, for this example, the US owes over half the world's debt. But if a debt is never paid, does that mean a currency would continue devaluing indefinitely? Not necessarily, but if courses aren't corrected with such debt, a currency runs the risk of hyperinflation. We'll describe hyperinflation and other examples of how economies can crash in another video. When we complete it, it will be linked in the description below. Like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you on our next one.